On an ordinary afternoon in the city, as the sunlight cast long shadows on the streets, Noah and Emma found themselves walking home from school, as they had done countless times before. Yet today felt different, as if the very air was tingling with something magical. They had always taken the same route, but today, something new caught their eye. At the end of the street, an iron gate that had always been there, unnoticed, now beckoned to them. It was old, rusted, and covered in thick vines that seemed to grow thicker by the moment. But what caught their attention was the faint, golden glow radiating from the gate, almost as if it was alive. A small wooden sign hanging from the gate shimmered with golden letters. The Hidden Zoo, only for those who believe. With a sense of wonder, they stepped forward, and without much thought, pushed the gate open. As soon as they touched the rusty iron, a burst of light surrounded them. It was not like any light they had ever seen. It was golden and warm, almost as if the very air was alive with magic. The world around them began to blur and shift. When they opened their eyes again, they were no longer on the familiar city street, but in the heart of a lush, vibrant jungle. The trees towered above them, their leaves glowing with soft, shimmering light, and strange, exotic creatures moved through the forest. There were rainbow-colored elephants bathing in glowing lakes, monkeys with 3 tails chattering from the treetops, and tiny dragons darting playfully through the sky. It was unlike anything they could have ever imagined. As they wandered deeper into the jungle, the children were struck by the beauty and magic of their surroundings. Suddenly, a large golden lion emerged from behind a shimmering waterfall. Its golden mane glowed like the sun, and its amber eyes radiated wisdom that seemed to stretch back for centuries. With a deep, rich voice that vibrated the air, the lion spoke. "You have entered the Hidden Zoo, a place of wonder and magic, but it is in grave danger. The enchanted key that protects this zoo has been stolen, and if it is not returned, the creatures of the zoo will vanish into thin air, and the magic will fade forever." Before the children could ask the lion any more questions, a small, quick-moving fox appeared from behind a rock. The fox wore tiny round glasses that gave him a scholarly appearance. He looked at the children with a knowing expression and spoke quickly. "I saw it. I saw it all." A dark figure, cloaked in shadows, took the key and ran toward the maze of mirrors. It was quick, too quick for me to follow. The fox paused, his ears twitching. "But be careful," he warned. "The maze is not what it seems. The mirrors will show you things, false things, and if you let them fool you, you may never escape." Following the fox's directions, Noah and Emma made their way toward the maze of mirrors. As they approached, the air seemed to grow colder, and a heavy silence surrounded them. The maze itself was an imposing structure, made entirely of tall, twisting glass walls. The mirrors reflected everything, but not in the way it truly was. As they entered, the first challenge became clear. The reflections of the children started to move on their own. At first, they thought it was just their imagination, but then they saw their reflections smiling back at them, smiling in a way that felt wrong. The reflections beckoned them forward, but Emma could sense something was off. She stopped, grabbing Noah's arm. "I don't trust them," she whispered. Despite the dangers of the maze, the children pressed on, knowing they had to find the key. Hours seemed to pass as they walked through endless corridors of mirrors. Finally, in a quiet corner of the maze, Emma saw something shimmering, a faint, golden light reflecting from behind one of the mirrors. She reached out, but her hand passed right through the glass. Noah had an idea. "What if we have to believe it's real?" he said. They stood still for a moment, closing their eyes and whispering together, "The key is real." When they opened their eyes, a golden key appeared before them, floating in the air like a beacon of hope. Emma reached out and grasped it tightly in her hand. With the key in hand, Noah and Emma raced back to the center of the hidden zoo, where the golden lion awaited them. The zoo was still fading, its colors dulling as the magic slowly slipped away. With trembling hands, Emma placed the key into a magical lock embedded in the ground. As soon as she turned it, a burst of golden light exploded from the lock, flowing through the ground, up the trees, and into the sky. The light spread to every corner of the zoo, and the magical creatures began to reappear. The elephants trumpeted with joy, the dragons soared high above the trees, and the monkeys swung from the vines once more. The jungle came alive again, brighter and more magical than ever before. The golden lion stepped forward once more, his gaze filled with gratitude. "You have done it," he said, his voice full of warmth. "Because of your belief, this zoo will remain safe forever. The magic will live on in your hearts." As he spoke, the zoo began to fade. The animals, the trees, and the sparkling lakes all dissolved into golden mist. The gate reappeared before the children, ordinary once more. The lion smiled one last time. "Perhaps one day you will return, but only if you believe." Emma turned to Noah as the magic disappeared. "Do you think we'll ever find it again?" she asked softly. Noah smiled and nodded. "Only if we believe." As they continued their journey, the wind whispered through the trees. It carried the soft sound of magical creatures calling out in the distance. Noah and Emma knew they had experienced something extraordinary, and although the zoo was now hidden, its magic would always remain in their hearts.